For decades, the Lion King fans have wondered about one of Disney's biggest unsolved mysteries. Who is Nala's father? While Simba's royal lineage is well documented, half of Nala's heritage is completely missing from the story. Some fans believe Mufasa is her father, while others suspect Scar. But what if Disney has been hiding an even bigger secret all along? After diving deep into the Lion King's history and going down the rabbit hole, I uncovered shocking details that could change everything you thought you knew about the Pridelands. In the original movie, we meet Nala alongside her mother, Serafina, but that's where her family tree ends. It's kind of strange. After all, The Lion King is a story built on family and legacy, yet half of Nala's origins are missing. And when you start digging deeper, the mystery only grows. Every other major character has a well-established lineage, from Mufasa's royal bloodline to even Zazu's connections as the king's advisor. But Nala? Her past remains shrouded in secrecy. What is Disney hiding, and why? Her mother, Serafina, is mentioned by name in the movie, but there is no reference to her father in either the original 1994 film or the 2019 live-action remake. This absence is unusual, considering the film's focus on royal lineage and family ties. After doing extensive Googling, I found the official answer. Her father is a lion named Matuda. However, there's a catch. Matuda wasn't mentioned in any of the movies, in any supplementary material, or even in early drafts of the script. Instead, he was introduced in a 2016 episode of The Lion Guard, a spin-off series aimed at a much younger audience on Disney Junior. So, we're supposed to believe that 22 years after The Lion King debuted, they suddenly decided to reveal Nala's father in a children's TV show? Something about that doesn't sit right. The timing alone raises suspicion. It seems like Disney retroactively filled in a major gap in the story, perhaps to avoid uncomfortable implications about who Nala's father might be. And according to Disney's wiki, Nala's father was born sometime during the reign of Simba's grandparents, and around the same time as their eldest son Mufasa, or his younger brother Scar. As a cub, Nala's father fell from a tree but was saved by the lion guard of his day, presumably the one before Scar's lion guard. Some years after this incident, he mated with a lioness named Serafina and had a daughter with her named Nala. At some point, shortly before or after Nala's birth, her father either died or left Pride Rock, thus leaving Serafina as Nala's only parent. Despite his disappearance, he would become the father-in-law of Prince Simba, whom Mufasa and Sarabi betrothed to Nala, and the grandfather of Nala's cubs, Kiara and Kion. In the Lion Guard episode Paintings and Predictions, whilst in the lair of the Lion Guard, Bunga and Beshte see a painting of Nala's father falling from a tree and mistake it for Kion. They believe that Kion will fall from a tree and try to stop him from climbing throughout the episode. At the end, Rafiki clarifies that the painting depicts the past and that the cub is not Kion but his grandfather, who was rescued by the lion guard of his day. But before this mysterious Matuda was conveniently introduced, there were three other plausible options. Mufasa, Scar, or another less-known lion? Let's begin with this other lion. Now, I should say that we cannot consider this as an official theory because we are referring to the enigmatic books of The Lion King's 6 New Adventures. But the reason why I decided to add this theory too is because a lot of fans prefer this theory over the canon ones. This theory suggests that Nala's father is a lion from the Pride. Based on the appearance, some people say that Leo could be the father, while others say it could be Mega, but the majority believes that her father is Ni. Ni appears in the book Nala's Dare, and reveals that he was expelled from his pride. As we know, Nala invites him to stay with the Pride for a bit, and with Serafina's help, they defeat the hyenas that were attacking the Pridelands. Later, Ni decided to carry on and leave. This sounds like a more beautiful theory for people who refuse to accept the vague official explanation, and who doesn't want to believe that the next 2 possible candidates are Mufasa and Scar. Let's dive in Mufasa's theory first. According to early drafts of The Lion King, back when it was called King of the Jungle, Nala's father was heavily implied to be Mufasa. This idea was ultimately scrapped, likely to avoid an explicit incestuous connection between Nala and Simba. However, there are still hints in the final version that suggest a close familial bond. For one, Nala strongly resembles Mufasa. She shares his golden fur and general appearance, which is not something she has in common with Scar. Even their personalities align. Both Nala and Simba have bold, adventurous spirits, and they seem to understand each other on an instinctual level. The way they interact, especially as cubs, suggest a natural connection that goes beyond childhood friendship. Then there's the famous line from young Simba, "I can't marry her, she's my friend." To which Zazu responds, "It's a tradition going back generations." And Nala's response? "Yeah, it'd be too weird." If Nala were Mufasa's daughter, that statement would take on a whole new meaning. Perhaps she and Simba instinctively sense that they are more than just childhood companions. Yet, despite this, they are betrothed. Why? Because Mufasa may have wanted both of his children to rule together. In lion prides, the dominant male often sires multiple cubs at the same time, meaning it wouldn't be unusual for Simba and Nala to be half-siblings. Rafiki too plays into this. When he finds Simba, he refers to him as Mufasa's boy. On the surface, it seems like an obvious statement. Simba is Mufasa's son, but the way he emphasizes boy is kind of strange. It almost suggests that there might be an unspoken implication that there could be a girl too. But then there are a few subtle moments in the movie that debunks it all. At one point, Simba and Nala argue, and Simba says, "You're starting to sound like my father." Nala responds, "Good. At least one of us does." It may sound like a simple line, but what it shows us is that Mufasa is most likely not Nala's father, because Simba would have said our father instead of my. Or somehow, Simba and Nala have no idea themselves who Nala's father is, which also seems unlikely. While there are plenty of hints pointing towards Mufasa as Nala's father, there is another possibility. Scar. Scar and Nala share one distinct trait that no other lions in the movie have: greenish eyes. In fact, they are the only members of the Pride with that feature. Now, eye color alone isn't enough to prove a biological relationship, but it does raise some interesting questions. Scar also has a darker mane, and research has shown that darker-maned lions are more likely to attract mates, implying that Scar was once popular among the lionesses. You know, when he was young and feisty. He probably did father several cubs with many different lionesses. But could Scar have fathered Nala before being rejected by the Pride? One of the biggest pieces of evidence in favor of this theory comes from Scar's behavior toward Nala. Unlike other lionesses, she actively challenges him, refusing to submit to his rule. He also seems hesitant to harm her. When she confronts him about the famine and his failure as king, he doesn't immediately lash out the way he does with others. Could this be because she is his daughter, making her a rightful heir to the throne? One fan goes ahead and argues that Scar is indeed Nala's father. According to this theory, Mufasa and Scar are brothers. And, as we all know, Mufasa and Sarabi were betrothed since they were cubs, which would mean Serafina was betrothed to Scar. Even though they wouldn't be rulers of the Pridelands, they were still in line just in case. This would not only explain the plot hole in the first film as to why Nala's father seems to be absent and or unmentioned at all, but it also explains why Scar is so abusive towards Sarabi. Scar wanted Sarabi, but he couldn't have her because of Mufasa. He spawned a cub with Serafina, but he was a nomad due to his intense jealousy over Mufasa being the older one and the heir to the throne. They all knew he was the father, but that was a skeleton in their closet that they kept between themselves and potentially did not even tell Nala. This all could make sense, but, and this is a big but, there is that deleted scene that Disney scraped, where Scar was flirting with Nala. In this scene, he declared to the rest of the Pride that he chooses Nala as his queen. So that would mean he was flirting with his own daughter? Well, at an anniversary event, the Lion King directors Rob Minkoff and Roger Allers were asked who Nala's father was, and they said, "We hoped nobody would notice, but after talking a little bit about how lions operate in real-life prides, the general assumption was that Nala's father was either Scar or Mufasa. Apparently, both can be considered dominant males in the Pride, so it's highly likely that both of them mated with multiple females in the Pride. That would mean that most or all of the cubs on Pride Rock are actually the children of Scar or Mufasa. When you think about it, there aren't any other adult male lions on Pride Rock, just Scar, Mufasa, and eventually baby Simba. So this means that Simba and Nala could be half-brother and sister? Tom Bancroft, the Lion King animator, once said, "The answer to whether Mufasa or Scar was Nala's father is yes and no." What can I say? Pride Rock is a strange place. It seems likely that Disney retroactively added Matuda to avoid the uncomfortable implications of a royal family tree that was a little too close for comfort. What do you think? Which theory seems the most logical to you?